Imagine walking down a familiar street, only to find yourself suddenly transported to a different era. The buildings, the people, the very atmosphere around you have changed. You are no longer in the present, but in a time long past. This is the essence of a time slip, a phenomenon where individuals claim to have briefly visited another time period. These experiences challenge our understanding of time and reality, often leaving both witnesses and researchers puzzled. Let's delve into some of the most captivating time slip stories, starting with the famous 1901 Moberly-Jourdain incident at Versailles. The Moberly-Jourdain incident. It was a warm August day in 1901 when two British academics, Charlotte Ann Moberly and Eleanor Jourdain, decided to visit the Palace of Versailles in France. Little did they know, their sightseeing trip would turn into an extraordinary adventure that would baffle them for years to come. As they strolled through the palace grounds, Moberly and Jourdain noticed something strange. The landscape and people around them seemed to belong to a different era. They saw individuals dressed in 18th century attire, including a man they later believed to be Louis XVI. The Petit Trianon, Marie Antoinette's private retreat, appeared as it did in the 1780s, not in its 1901 condition. Upon returning to England, the women researched their experience extensively. They concluded that they had somehow slipped back in time to August 10, 1792, exactly 109 years before their visit. Their account, published in 1911 under the title An Adventure, sparked considerable debate. Skeptics suggested they had misinterpreted normal events or experienced a shared hallucination. But for Moberly and Jourdain, the experience was all too real. The Bold Street Incident, Liverpool, 1996. Fast forward to 1996 in Liverpool, where an off-duty policeman named Frank was walking along Bold Street. Suddenly, he found himself in what appeared to be the 1950s. The buildings, cars, and even the clothing of the people around him had changed. Frank saw a store called Quirks, which he later discovered had existed in the 1950s, but had long since closed. The experience lasted only a few minutes, but it left Frank deeply unsettled. The Ghosts of Versailles, 1938. In 1938, two English women reported a similar experience to Moberly and Jourdain's at Versailles. As they walked through the palace gardens, they claimed to have seen Marie Antoinette and other historical figures from the 18th century. The atmosphere felt heavy and unsettling, much like the earlier incident. Were these women also victims of a time slip, or was it something else? The Time Slip Garage, 1979. In 1979, a couple in Spain experienced a time slip while on a road trip. Their car broke down, and they found themselves in a strangely old-fashioned town and garage. The town appeared to be from a different era, with people dressed in vintage clothing and using old-fashioned tools. When they returned to the same location later, the town and garage were nowhere to be found. What had they stumbled upon? The Vanishing Hotel, 1953. Two couples in France reported staying at a hotel that seemed to be from another era. The hotel was furnished with antique furniture, and the staff wore old-fashioned clothing. The next day, when they tried to find the hotel again, it had vanished. The couples later discovered that the hotel had been demolished years before their visit. How could they have stayed in a place that no longer existed? From a scientific perspective, explanations range from hallucinations and false memories to more speculative ideas involving quantum physics and the possibility of temporary wormholes. Some parapsychologists have proposed that time slips might be a form of retrocognition, the ability to perceive past events psychically. What do you think about time slips? Are they glimpses into other times, quirks of perception? Share your thoughts in the comments.